Lacresha Simpson, and I'm the College and Career Counselor for New Visions Charter High School for Advanced Math and Science. Today, we are going to be talking about understanding your scholar's financial aid letters. Today, we're going to be talking about financial aid letters, but before we get into the details of what a financial aid letter looks like, we want to talk about some basic terms that you will see on some of the financial aid letters and awards. For one, you will see words like cost of attendance. This means the total cost to attend a college for up to 1 year, including estimated expenses. You will also see direct and indirect costs. Direct costs are money that needs to be paid to the institution for your scholar to attend. This includes tuition and other related fees, such as student fees and insurance, etc. There are also going to be indirect fees as well, things that will be supplementing your student's education. This includes transportation, travel, books, any other personal expenses that will support your child being in college. On the following slide, I show you an example of the direct and indirect costs for the college. In particular, this is Wheaton College, which shows you what the indirect costs, the direct costs, and the total cost of attendance would be to attend this school. Now that we understand the costs of college, we want to explore how to pay for that. This is where financial aid comes in. So financial aid is defined as any money that's used to support you and your scholar during their educational experience. There are different forms of financial aid. We like to break it down into two areas. The first area is the self-help aid. This includes loans, which you will need to pay back, employment, any money that you might have from working that you'll use to pay for your education, family contributions, so whatever the family can contribute to the education as well, and work study, which is money that needs to be earned. Essentially, self-help aid will need to be paid back or earned at some point in time in a student's education. The other form of aid is gift aid, which is the free money that's offered from an institution. This can be in the form of grants or scholarships. Some examples of places where grants or scholarships are available are on websites, churches, families, as well as from the institution itself, the federal government, and from New York State or any other state that you're attending. On the next slide, I show you a sample financial aid package. This outlines all the type of financial aid, including self-help and gift aid. First, we will identify the gift aid, which is free money that has been given by the institutions such as the college, the federal government, and New York State. For this particular financial aid package, this student has been offered a Pell Grant, a federal FSEOG grant, a TAP New York State grant, as well as an institutional grant that was offered by the college. This now totals a gift aid of $15,000 of free money. If we continue to look at the same financial aid package, we can also identify the self-help aid, which is money that will eventually need to either be paid back or earned at some point in time in a student's career. For one, there is a Parent Plus loan. This loan can be taken out by parents and the student to pay for the education. There is also the federal subsidized standard loan, as well as a federal Perkins loan, which totals a self-help aid of $10,000. While this money can be used towards your scholar's education, you and your scholar will eventually need to pay this money back. If you have specific questions about loans and such information, please contact me directly. Finally, I want to speak about the federal work study. This has been included on the financial aid package. However, this money will not be available until the student has earned it. The way a student can earn their federal work study is by working on campus at various locations, such as the admissions office, financial aid, the student support center, etc. On the next slide, we take a look at our sample financial aid package and review it with our total cost of attendance for a particular fantasy college. Now, if this fantasy college was $25,000 to attend, and we look and see that we've gotten $15,000 of free money that we don't have to pay back, it now shows us that the family is responsible for $10,000, whether they pay the $10,000 now or at some point in the student's educational career. This college has offered $7,000 in loans. For these purposes, I did not include the Parent Plus loan because the Parent Plus loan will need to be co-signed with a parent. The final conclusion is that the student and family will have to find $3,000 to pay for this particular college. There are a few options for finding additional money. For one, the student can look into financial aid appeals. Depending on various circumstances that were not talked about on the FAFSA application, a student, along with their counselor, can write a letter appealing for additional money. Some examples of reasons to write an appeal include any new circumstances, such as a death in the immediate family, any additional expenses that were not talked about on the financial aid application. This includes any major daycare expenses, medical expenses, etc. If for some reason there's some financial aid that's missing, it's important to contact the college and find out what happened to the financial aid that may or may not be missing. And if the student wants to show that they're interested in that school and wants additional money to make sure that they can attend. Ultimately, it is important for you and your scholar to sit down and review the financial aid packages appropriately and make the most financial, academic, and social decisions available. You may have to consider all your options, including community colleges and four-year institutions across the board. Thank you for your time. I hope that this was informative, and if you have any questions, feel free to call my office and I can work with you and your scholar on choosing the best post-secondary decision for you and your family.